listening to the morning show. And Shannon Mallory still hanging out, listening to the commercials and things with
Still
me.
here, yeah.
Yeah, getting a little bit about the weather. It's going to be fairly nice. We can get out and do some yard work.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah.
But you have had a personal experience. Go ahead.
Yeah,
what
so
were you gonna
I
say?
was doing some yard work
Right.
last weekend. I have a old barbed wire fence in my backyard. It's actually my backyard fence, keeps the cows out. Yeah, but was clearing it, and I knew that there was poison ivy back there, but this time of year there's no leaves coming out. I know how to identify it. I'm 100% sure it's back there because I have a good patch of it and a big vine going up one of the trees. And I was removing all of that stuff. Learn from my experience, you can get poison ivy from dormant poison ivy vines.
I've had that experience too.
Yes.
Scratched myself picking pecans back in the day, and
Yeah, and
Yep.
but both me and
I'm
Beverly
like,
were talking
I didn't see
beforehand.
any poison ivy though.
Yeah, we're
Didn't see it at
both
all.
quite susceptible to it. You know, we will get a rash or something like that. But I wanted to talk today about why that happens. Certainly, a lot of us know. I'm trying to think of how on air we could talk about identifying the plant. If you're going to go out in the woods, I encourage you to look up on some online resources and learn to identify poison ivy and poison oak in Perkay County. Now, poison sumac, we hear that. It is not native to Oklahoma. Now, there is some slowly creeping in McCurtain County, far southeast Oklahoma, Idabel. But if you ever hear anybody say, oh, you got into that sumac and that's where you got it, you probably just had some poison ivy or poison oak or something like that in there as well.
Right.
There's no native poison sumac in Oklahoma, and I have no idea why there'd be some non-native stuff sprinkled over
I
here.
don't know. Is there anything else
Yep.
that's similar to sumac though that you can?
That you could get a rash from.
Right.
Those are the three that we know about
so the
that
sumac,
have
the poison ivy, and what was the other one?
poison oak.
Poison oak.
Yeah, those are the three that we know.
So is poison
Yep.
oak native then?
Yes.
Is that the
yes,
one? So
you could
that's
very well
probably,
find it.
because we were talking
okay.
about a friend of mine that got that, and I thought maybe it was sumac, but that was probably what that was.
Possibly,
then.
yeah,
Oh.
and that one has more of what they would call a palmate leaf,
Okay.
where it does have 3 points on it, but it is one leaf. To where poison ivy, it actually only has one leaf with 3 leaflets, but it looks like 3 distinct leaves on it.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Is it still dormant right now then?
It is still dormant right
Okay.
now. It has. I can guarantee it was on Sunday.
Right. It was just hanging out waiting on you.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Anyway, but they say that they're very woolly along the big vines and stuff. It looks like roots are coming up and clinging onto the tree or the fence post or whatnot. And apparently you can still get it from that. And I certainly pulled a couple of big ones from there. But what I did wrong, and I should know better, I'm pretty
Right.
susceptible to it. It's been about 3 years since I've had a bad rash or anything, and I will say I'm sleeping all right, so that's good.
That's good because
Yeah.
it is painful, not only itchy,
It's
but
irritating.
it's painful
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, it can wake you up a little bit or something like that. But anyway, that woolliness can get on you, and I got in, cooked some dinner, did a couple things before going and washing up immediately, and that probably let time for the uretiol, the oil, to
Right.
get kind of soaked into my skin and stuff, and should have done that. But the main thing is getting that uretiol off of your skin. So how do you do that? There are some scrubs you can buy that are specifically formulated for uretiol oil to get it off of you. There is Dawn dish soap. I hear a lot of people say, something that's good at removing oils is really good. But the main thing is you just want to get a rag of some sort, whether it's a microfiber rag, a washcloth, and you've seen the hospital shows, any of those shows, Scrubs, what's the other one, ER or anything.
Yes.
You see them before they're prepping for surgery. You want to wash that good on the areas of skin that were open whenever you were in the woods, whenever you were looking for mushrooms, whatever you were
Right.
doing out there. You want to hospital surgery clean your arms, and that's going to get the oil
He's
off.
demonstrating, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Yes.
So wash up
Yep.
just like a surgeon.
Just like you would a surgeon and stuff
get it
like that.
clean.
Any open skin. So if you had shorts on, you're going to want to wash the lower part there. And then for me, I did have this so-called the rash pop up about 2 days later. When you know where that's at, you do want to wash that again, and that could be a little painful, but you want to wash that again. And the main thing is that oil sticks to our skin really well.
Okay.
And if we wash well enough, it doesn't spread over the rest of our body. that oil is the only thing that's contagious. The rash itself is just a reaction that your skin has, but you want to wash really well around there in order to keep it from
Now,
spreading.
if you're very susceptible like you and I are, can that get on your clothes?
It certainly
take
can.
those clothes right away and
Yep.
take those off too if you're wearing a long sleeve shirt even, because
Throw
if it
'em
doesn't touch
right
your
in-
skin, it could be on the clothes then,
Yeah,
right? I'm
throw 'em.
demonstrating to you
Yes,
now.
yeah, you're demonstrating
Using the
to
hands. Well, yeah,
Throw 'em
I don't
right
want
in the
this
washer.
stuff. I'm like you. It's been a few years
Yeah.
finally now since I've had a problem with it, but I learned to wash up,
Yeah.
and you knew,
Oh, I knew.
You
Yeah,
just-
I mean, I think I
but
did.
you weren't thinking about it
I
because
think
you didn't
2 years
see
ago we talked about this on the radio or something like that.
Right.
Almost this exact thing. But throw those clothes right in the washer, hop in the shower right away. If you are having it kind of spread still, even after doing all of that, you may have touched something, or I know some people, they'll go lay in bed and maybe not wash up the night before or
on the
something,
sheets.
and now you've got your reishi oil on your sheets, and now that's not helping and stuff like that. So it may turn into a whole, DEFCON 5 cleaning everything and
Right.
stuff like that,
That's
which is
crazy.
why it's so important to immediately put those clothes in the washer, get them started on a wash cycle, and go take a shower and clean up. Again, surgery clean really, really well. But otherwise, after that, if it still persists, you may need to go to like the urgent care clinic or something like that, and they have a couple of things that can speed up the recovery for it. But once you've got it, you're going to get to deal with it for a little while.
I always
Unfortunately,
use that Caladryl because the
Yes.
calamine it dries it up, but it doesn't stop that itch. So I
Yep.
always use the Caladryl. There's a
Yep.
bit of a difference. So.
that is an option as well. Anything anti-itch. Don't take hot showers if you're uncomfortable with that. That can cause them to flare up a little bit. I'm a person that normally takes really hot showers.
But
Turn
not
it
right
on.
now.
And wow!
No, that hurts your poison ivy.
That
Don't
didn't
do
feel
that.
good.
So
Yeah.
is there something we could do to treat the yard, even if you don't see the poison ivy? Maybe you've moved into an area and you don't realize that you have poison ivy yet because it's dormant right now.
Yeah,
so.
if you'd like to, there are herbicides that are labeled specifically for woody plants. Now,
Okay.
they're a broadleaf herbicide. So my way of saying that is that it's going to do its best job to kill a broadleaf plant. That's trees included, so you want to be careful around there. And usually, where do we find our poison ivy?
Climbing the
Under
tree.
our trees.
Under the
Yeah,
tree,
so
yeah.
be very careful. You can do hand pulling of it. Again, you're gonna be very careful with that and do your whole surgery wash up and
Right.
stuff like that after you're done. But yeah, as long as you're using rags and washing up, you'll hopefully be lucky like me, where if you did get some on you and have a little bit of a rash, that it hasn't spread around your body or anything like that. So I'm doing okay. Still going to work.
Good to hear. And don't
Yep.
touch your face when you're out working in the yard. That's one
Yes.
other thing. If you don't know it's there, you wipe your face a little.
You wipe the sweat off your
Yeah,
brow
then you've
or
got
something.
it on your
Yeah,
face.
you never know what can
You're gonna
happen.
get it there,
But
too.
yeah, but if you have any other questions about identifying plants, we get a lot of phone calls of what shrub is this, what tree is this in my pasture, what weed is this. If you have any problems or questions to identify plants, OSU Extension is glad to help with that. So please give us a phone call at 580-362-3194 if you think you've got poison ivy or poison oak in your yard. We'll be glad to identify the plant for
All
you.
right, and you're in the new building now if they want
We
to
are.
stop by. And that's just right next to the courthouse in Newkirk.
Right there. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Shannon, for such great information. I have a song for you from the Coasters.
Friday morning, Sean in the Morning Show, co-host series, Bob Banta, special guest. We always have fun when Bob is with us. And
We hope, yes.
Bob, have you ever had poison ivy? Have you ever
I
caught
get
it?
it all the time. I walk by. All I have to do is walk by and I catch it.
Yeah.
And the sad
Jumps at you.
it does. And the sad thing is, I don't know what it looks like. And I mean, I've looked at 900
Right,
pictures.
right.
But when I get out in the country,
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
You're-
wait a minute,
it's-
was that poison ivy?
You're soaking up nature. You're not.
You're like, I know it has 3 leaves.
Yeah.
Anything with 3 leaves, that's a pretty big tree over there. Is that poison ivy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It could be. Shannon Mallory's with us from the Oklahoma State K County Cooperative Extension Service to clarify the poison ivy questions. What is it? What does it look like? What can you do? Will you get it? I mean,
Can we kill it?
can we kill it?
Mm-hmm.
If you know you have some poison ivy growing up on your property, how in the world do you get rid of it? We always learn something new when Shannon Mallory joins us. So, Shannon, where do we begin with poison ivy?
Where do we begin? The first one is that even, and this is unfortunately speaking from some personal experience at the moment, even when it's dormant, you'll see kind of these hairy roots growing along the side of the plant there. It can give you the rash. I was clearing out a fence line and pulling. And I knew it was there. Pulling it out.
But you're thinking
Still
it's
got it. Yeah,
really. You're thinking, oh, it's not going to get me.
I feel so much better now. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
I'm
He's got
supposed
it.
to be.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot better.
So what I did wrong, and the number one thing you can do to prevent having a really bad poison ivy rash,
You didn't put on a hazmat suit.
that might help. If you
Yeah.
want to go that far, you can do that.
Sure.
I had long sleeve, long pants, hat on, gloves while I was doing it because I knew
Okay.
it was out there
All right.
and stuff. And I've got where I've got a little bit, and I don't know if y'all can see the little dots on there and stuff,
Right.
but is right there on my wrist from where my sleeve ended and my glove had a little bit of a gap there.
Okay.
So I didn't have that covered, and I did not immediately, when I got done doing my work, go in, shed the clothes, throw them in the washer, and go take a shower. Surgery clean.
Decontaminate.
DEFCON or whatever they call it.
There we
back.
go.
Does that actually work? I mean,
Yeah, so what it does, the oil, uretiol is the name of it.
Uretiol.
Uretiol, exactly.
Okay.
It rolls off the
I'm gonna
tongue.
add
It really
that
does.
to my vocabulary.
Along with petrichor, right?
Petrichor,
that's-
I love petrichor.
That's a
you
great
guys-
name.
I'll be outside. I
Yeah.
can't talk like this.
My goodness.
But anyway, uretiol is the oil that gets on your skin, and the reason why people think poison ivy rashes are contagious is because you did not wash the uretiol oil off of you. So I've been lucky enough that I do have this area on my wrist here that's not very comfortable, but I'm not terribly so bad. But I washed it really well that day, and it has not spread. So at least I've
Okay.
only got just the one spot. It's not all over my body and stuff. But that's the main thing you can do, Bob, is wash up just really, really good, surgery good with a rag and soap.
All right.
There are some special scrubs you can buy and stuff if you want to. They do work. You can also use Dawn dish soap. I've heard of people using that. It does really good with getting oils. You always see the
have a
little
lot of
cute
that.
little
Yeah.
duck that they're cleaning
Yeah,
every
for sure.
time.
Yeah.
With that.
Okay.
So that's one thing you can do. Now, identifying it. It does have 3 leaves,
That's the thing.
or so we thought. It is actually one leaf called trifoliate. So if you mention it jumps at you, it gets real close to you, you get it. Don't necessarily zoom in on it, but if you look, it actually has 2 leaves coming directly from one point, and then a little bit of a stem and another leaf,
Right.
leaflet
Okay.
officially, but it has 3 leaflets on there. Poison oak, another one that we have that does have uretiol in it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any around K County. It very well could be here. It's all
right.
over the nation,
Yeah.
and stuff. It's nationwide.
It's kind of like Bob Banta.
It's Bob Baker.
He's-
Yeah,
World famous, and locally known.
That's
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
there you go. But anyway, those 2. Poison sumac, on the other hand,
And
people
now,
always hear that.
now what? No, people don't always hear that because this is the first time in my life. I was today years old
Yep.
when I heard poison sumac. What?
Sumac.
Yeah.
What is
Now,
that?
Yeah, and that's fair. It is not native to Oklahoma.
Okay.
People always claim, "Oh, I got into a poison sumac patch." Well, if you're in K County, it's very unlikely that you got into a poison sumac patch unless you're
Yeah.
cultivating it.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. So-
How is that different from poison oak or poison ivy?
It's a different type of plant. It's more of a small shrub or tree. It's similar to our sumac trees that we have. You see the
Right.
red cones this time of year.
Which one is worse?
Oh,
Are they all the
I
same?
think
I'm
it
sure they're
depends
all
on the
equal.
person. I think it
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
on the person. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like being allergic to shrimp or something.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
some people are more susceptible to not.
I know people walk through it and
Yep.
roll around in it and don't get it.
One of my buddies out where I
Yeah.
live, Gage Watson, he's like, I never get it. I'm moral mushroom hunting, digging through the brush
Yeah.
and everything. I'm fine. You know?
Really?
Yeah. So
Why is that?
It just same thing. Just like some people are allergic to peanut butter.
Different immunities and
Different
stuff.
things that
Yeah.
are it's what makes us special. And doggone, if there's one thing that could have made me special, it was not getting poison ivy.
right.
Anyway, so yeah, that, and then we can too sometimes if we've got a large enough infestation. It's called an ivy, but it can be a small 2 or 3 foot little twig.
Right,
It's
right.
woody.
Okay.
Is the short answer to that. It's not like a English ivy or a Virginia creeper vine.
Okay.
Friendly 5 is what people will call that. It is woody, so it can stand on its own, but there'll be patches of it. We can spray some broadleaf herbicides out there to try to kill it.
That'll get rid of it.
Yeah, it'll knock it down. Yeah, it'll do
Okay.
its best to.
All right.
Let's say it that way. But then too, a broadleaf herbicide is going to do its best job to kill any broadleaf. And what is also broadleaves? Trees. Whereas poison ivy usually
Trees.
under trees,
Right.
on trees. You know, so it's tough to get rid of it. The main thing that I suggest is cutting them down, pulling it out, and
Okay.
washing up really good.
Okay. When you say pull it out, I mean, are you? I guess if you're gloved up and you're
Gloved
covered
up,
and everything.
Gloved up, yep.
I was going to say, are
Duct
you?
tape.
Yeah.
The moral of this story is duct tape your shirt sleeve to
I
your
should have
glove.
done that, Bob.
Oh, see,
I should have
Bob.
done that. And
Bob-
I didn't.
The other thing I've learned from this is if you don't wear gloves and you're out there working in the yard like that,
Yeah.
don't be scratching before you go in and take
Yeah.
a shower.
Oh,
Don't be scratching
yeah.
your face or
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
You're going to
Yeah,
have a bad
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
All right, Shannon Mallory joins us every Friday. We always learn something new all about poison ivy today. If you want to find out more about poison ivy or anything we've ever talked about with Shannon Mallory, K County Cooperative Extension, they're always hoping to help you out. And in their new digs, the K County
we've got
Courthouse.
the new office up there with the new courthouse annex and the new OSU Extension office. Everything's looking great on that corner, on that square.
It does. I
Yeah.
was just up there
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah. So stop by, say hi, or if you need to, give us a phone call, 580-362-3194, and we'd be glad to identify a plant and tell you if it's poison ivy or not.
Oh,
or
good.
any plant.
Yeah. And
I'm writing down his number because
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time I go outside, I'm calling him.
yes. All right, Shannon. I'm going.
You like
I'm
smash
heading out.
burgers? I'll have you over at the house.
Shannon Mallory, thank you so much. All over the social medias, too. K County Cooperative Extension Service. Sean, in the morning show, Senator Bill Coleman will be a guest here in just a little while. Also, Ashley Alliance, Northern Oklahoma Humane Society, a special guest with us a little bit later. Right here on 101 Country KPNC. Sean and Friends in the Morning co-host series. Bob Banta, our co-host this morning.